What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. This time I actually really want to talk about the recent report that does suggest that the Dallas Mavericks remain extremely interested in potentially trading for Myles Turner, and this is all being reported by Shams. A bunch of other reporters have also come out and kind of said that a trade package is already being discussed right now that could actually potentially involve some very, very nice players for the Indiana Pacers, and that is what I'm going to be discussing today. Kind of this trade package and what could it actually be, because the main trade package that I think everyone is kind of suggesting, of course, does have a first round pick in it. That's pretty obvious. There is no way a team is going to be able to get Myles Turner now, I think, without a first round pick. I honestly, in my full kind of prediction of the things, I genuinely believe you actually may have to trade 2 first round picks up to get Myles Turner. The reason I say this is because Myles Turner is still one of the best defenders in the league, and especially one of the best rim protecting defenders in the league as well. It's also to mention that the Charlotte Hornets, New York Knicks, and Los Angeles Lakers are also extremely interested in Turner. I'm kind of just going to take, I think, the Knicks out of it, because I don't believe they're going to get him. I think it's going to be out of the Lakers, Hornets, and Mavericks. And even the Lakers have kind of said that they're not looking for another big man. They're looking to play LeBron and AD at center for the rest of the season, which blows my mind. I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. I think even Lakers fans, when they heard that, they were just like, well, there goes our championship hopes right there. But hey, Mavericks and Hornets will have a lot to offer, but my issue with the Hornets is I don't know how they're going to match up contracts, because Dallas certainly do that way better. And the way I actually think this will potentially go down is I think Reggie Bullock will 100% be in the deal for the Dallas Mavericks. It just makes a lot of sense when we look at it in the long, term of things. Myles Turner, he is a guy that isn't cheap right now. Like, he's still got an extreme amount of value. The Pacers are in legitimately no rush to trade him, because if they don't trade him, they're kind of content with being mediocre for a long time. I think everyone knows this. Pacers fans especially, they know they're just mediocre every year, and they're not really in a rush or anything, but this is most likely the time where a trade will get done. Again, Myles Turner is, believe it or not, still only 25 years old, I believe. I think he is turning 26 pretty soon, but that is still incredibly young. He's on $17.5 million a year with an extra, year kind of on his contract, taking him to the 2022 to 2023 season. So you're going to have to match that up. First of all, Reggie Bullock, I believe, is on about $8 or so million. You're going to have to throw him in. I think why Reggie Bullock actually makes a lot of sense for the Pacers too is because even though he's a veteran and they're kind of looking to blow it up, I still feel like there is a way where the Pacers can trade away all these players and get a bunch of first round picks in, but also bring in enough role players to actually improve the team, if that makes sense. Because I think right now, the Pacers have been a very big defensive-minded team for such a long time now. And if you look at their team, there really isn't a whole amount of defense there. I mean, Domantas Sabonis has always been a weird player at the power forward guarding it. He is even weirder at the center. He just doesn't seem to have that, defensive ability consistently. You look at Chris Dotte, he is he's an interesting defender, not really super consistent. Then you got Myles Turner there, is a great defender. Caris LeVert is a pretty decent defender as well. Justin Holiday. But then you got a bunch of people like, Jeremy Lamb and a bunch of these young guys such as aren't exactly too consistent on defense. And yeah, it is a really interesting thing how they're going to go. And I think if you bring in Reggie Bullock, I think automatically starts nearly for this team. And if he doesn't start, he'd come off the bench and play around 25 minutes per game. And yeah, there's a way that they get rid of Jeremy Lamb and bring in a couple seconds and bring in Reggie Bullock, who I think is an upgrade over Jeremy Lamb. So that is a very good thing by them. And, Dallas really haven't been playing Reggie Bullock that much at all. It doesn't seem like they're too content on really even keeping him. Like, they're playing him 24 minutes per game. They were starting him at one point, but he's only averaging 6.5 and 3 rebounds per game. And his three-point percentage has been down to 32%, which is not great. I think he needs a fresh start. I don't think he really works on this Mavericks team at the moment. And yeah, I don't really think the Mavericks need him that much at all. So again, if you go ahead and you send him to the Indiana Pacers, that makes a lot of sense there. Then again, to match up contracts, you're going to have to throw in Dwight Powell, who I know the Mavericks do not care about trading at all. Dwight Powell is not that good of a player. He doesn't work with Kristaps Porzingis. Like, he started most of this year on 20 minutes per game, 7.1 points per game, 4.6 rebounds. Somehow, he's shooting 41% from 3. Don't even ask me how that is a thing. But hey, Dwight Powell, I don't think he works with Kristaps. I think Kristaps, he's not exactly the greatest rim protector anymore, at least not as good as he used to be. And I still actually think he's a really good player, and he's still having a really good and underrated year. I think you need to bring a rim protector and put that next to him, but also still a guy that can space the floor to help out Luka Doncic. And of course, Myles Turner can 100% do that. Pretty much what you would be trading, I think, if you were the Dallas Mavericks, is Dwight Powell, who they don't even need. Like, the only reason he's getting big minutes, at least 20 per game, is because they don't have a really starting caliber center. So, again, if they had a dude like Myles Turner on the team, Dwight Powell would barely get a minute at this point, because I don't even think he works well with this team. Then you got Reggie Bullock, who's just not really doing too much. And I think they're already exploring trades for him. So you trade him up, you trade up Dwight Powell, you're basically getting rid of 2 contract fillers you don't even need on the team anymore. Then you're giving up a first round pick, which, hey, they're going to be pretty good this season, which they have been doing. So it's probably going to be around pick, 22 to 25, I would assume, which I don't think they mind losing. And then I think you give up a protected first round pick. Reason you give up a protected first round pick is just based off the fact that the Hornets will be offering a lot as well. And to outbait them, you're going to have to give up 2 first round picks and a quality role player in Reggie Bullock to make this happen. Because again, the Hornets are going to come out and they have players like Mason Plumlee isn't doing that great for the Hornets. That's because he's not a starter in this league. So if you're the Hornets, you're giving up Mason Plumlee still, who is an alright player. They'll probably give up another solid role player here and there just to match up contracts or whatever. Then they'll be offering a first and probably something else, which their picks are going to be better than the Mavericks most likely. So that's going to be an interesting one. Can they outbeat the Mavericks in that? But yeah, this is also a trade I'm seeing a lot recently where people are saying you have to give up a first and a protected first to get Myles Turner. And then, of course, you're going to have to match up contracts, which the Mavericks can do easily. Dwight Powell and Reggie Bullock are not that good. So you're kind of just coming in here, and it makes a lot of sense. And look, if you have to give up a first-round pick just to get Myles Turner into the team and another protected first-round pick, you're 100% doing it, because not only are you bringing in finally a rim protector that can also space the floor, you're also making Kristaps Porzingis a way better player. Because right now, Kristaps, even though, he doesn't necessarily like to work in the post anymore, like he's trying to become just a floor spacer now, which is so funny to watch, but he still can work in the post. I think now if you get him to work in the post, you're kind of moving Dwight Powell out of that. So now that the square is really, really kind of freed up, because Myles Turner now will be standing on that 3-point line. And look, if Kristaps Porzingis was to drive and he's got, and even Luka Doncic, if either of them were to drive, then they've got, Dwight Powell kind of sitting in that key, just based on the fact that he's not a consistent 3-point shooter. And then again, one of the rim protectors, let's just say Jarrett Allen, it's going to be so hard for Luka or Kristaps to score over them, because Jarrett Allen will be standing right there because his man is in the key and he legitimately doesn't have to worry about him. But you bring in Myles Turner. Myles Turner can space the floor, so a dude like Jarrett Allen might actually have to go and guard up on them, meaning that Luka and Kristaps will have much more space to operate in the key. So again, I think it makes a whole lot amount of sense. Plus, Myles Turner is kind of what they wanted out of Reggie Bullock, except a taller player. They wanted Reggie Bullock to be a dude that can, guard the perimeter, just be a good defender while shooting threes. Myles Turner fits that. He's a great defender while shooting threes. Instead of the perimeter, though, it's more of the interior. So again, it makes a whole lot of sense to do this, and I think this trade is being suggested a lot. This is the trade that some journalists have suggested may go through. I also kind of changed it up a little bit by throwing in that protected first, because I know damn well they're going to have to beat the competition in, teams like Charlotte and that who want Myles Turner. So that's what's going to have to happen. It's going to be really interesting to see how this, of course, all goes down. Definitely don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Dallas Mavericks should, of course, go ahead and try and trade for Myles Turner? Are you guys happy with this trade package that is being suggested? Do you guys think Shams is right with all of this and the other journalists, this and that? Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channel. Check out my podcast if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description and down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.